Hi, I'm Snez, personal trainer, healthy lifestyle coach, and your guide to feeling your best. This podcast is a segment from my weekly radio show, Wellbeing Wednesdays, broadcast live on 88.6 Plenty Valley FM. It's all about sharing real, practical tips to help you move more, eat better, and live healthier without the overwhelm. Let's dive in, shall we? Coming up next, we're going to be talking about some of the things that don't get enough attention when it comes to your health and weight. And I see it all the time. People say, I'm eating well, I'm exercising, but I still feel exhausted. The weight won't budge. And it's not always just about food and about workouts. There are a whole bunch of sneaky little lifestyle factors that have a huge impact on your stress, on your hormones, your energy levels, which all will then affect your weight gain or your weight loss. So let's have a look at some of them today, and most importantly, what you can do about them. So the first one, and it's the one that we play down the most, it's the simplest one, and that is you might just need some extra water. So even mild dehydration increases cortisol, and that's your main stress hormone, which can make you feel tired. It slows down your metabolism, and it can also trigger false signals of hunger. So you end up eating when your body actually just needs fluid. So if you're feeling foggy or flat, just ask yourself, when was the last time you had water, or how much water have you drunk today? And the quick tip is to just make sure that you calculate how much you need in a day, and then you can have a look at, well, how much have I actually had? So 1 cup per 9 kilos of body weight is a very simple formula to get a good, rough estimate of how much you need in a day. So keeping a 2-litre bottle nearby, or setting little reminders, or having your scheduled cups of water throughout the day are definitely going to be ways to try and increase your water intake. The next one is poor sleep. So we all know that sleep is important, but I think we all also underestimate how much it actually affects everything. So when we're sleep deprived, our hormone ghrelin goes up, and which is the hunger hormone, and the hormone that gives us that feeling of feeling satisfied after we've eaten a meal, which is leptin, that's that hormone, that goes down. We crave more sugars and more carbohydrates. Our insulin sensitivity changes, which means that there's more fat storage, and your mood and decision making, that can absolutely go out the window. We feel more overwhelmed. And then when we feel overwhelmed, and I do this as well, because that's one thing that I can tend to lack is sleep, with just not being in bed enough hours with everything that I need to do on a day-to-day basis. But I find that when I'm tired, when I haven't had enough sleep, and my life feels very overwhelming, a lot more overwhelming than when I've had a great 7 or 8 hours sleep, then I'm feeling fine. But when I'm lacking sleep, what I find is that I find it really hard to make good decisions, and I will tend to go for decisions that are quick and easy and simple, and that's around food. That's around pretty much everything, actually, in all aspects of my life, whether it be parenting. It's like, I just can't, this is just too hard. That's fine, And so I think there's a lot of things that do absolutely change when we're not getting enough sleep. And all of the changes that do occur as a result of a reduction in sleep basically mean you consuming more, making poorer choices, moving less, and leading to a greater consumption of food and high-calorie foods that leads to weight gain. The other thing is nutritional stress, which is something I like to talk about a lot. And this might sound a little bit surprising, but under-eating, or eating the wrong balance of foods, or eating highly processed foods puts our body in a stress state. So we oftentimes think about stress coming from external factors, but we tend to discount the internal stress that can be created as a result of skipping meals, of living on coffee and toast for breakfast, of doing intense workouts without then properly fueling all of that activity. And all of that can push your body into survival mode without you actually recognizing it. And you may even look around your day and think, you know what, things are, actually pretty good. Like, I don't understand, why I feel so stressed, or why my body's responding, or why weight loss is so hard. So when your body feels under threat, it holds on to fat, especially around the belly. So even if you're trying to eat light, make sure you're eating enough with a good balance of protein, fats and carbs, and micronutrients, as well as less processed food. Because when we dump a whole bunch of toxins into our body through heavily processed foods, it is a stress on our bodies. The next thing is gut health. So your gut health is more than just your digestion and how your body digests food. It's deeply connected to your immune system, your mood, your brain function, and your metabolism. And when we have an imbalance of healthy and good and bad bacteria, it can lead to low energy, it can lead to mood swings, cravings are a big thing, and a poor absorption of nutrients, which means we can feel hungrier more often, and also more inflammation and fat storage. So when we are eating too many high sugar foods or high carbohydrate foods and too many processed foods, and also adding in antibiotics, alcohol is a big one. It can throw this gut health out of balance and it can lead to weight gain. So if you are struggling to shift the weight, this is definitely an area to explore and to support it with things like fermented foods like yogurt, kefir and kimchi, fibre from veggies, a variety of plants and different colours on your plate. The better and the bigger the range of colours on your plate and variety of vegetables, the healthier your gut bacteria is. And then the last one is just doing too much. And that could be just the nervous system overload. It's especially big for people in their 40s and 50s trying to juggle work, family life. Even if your to-do list is full of good things, if you're never switching off, your body is constantly in a fight or flight. And that keeps your cortisol high, it disrupts your sleep, it causes inflammation, and it makes it almost impossible to shift body fat or to feel calm. So a lot of the times you don't need more willpower, you just need to pay attention to some of these sneaky factors that could be in your lifestyle that you're not recognizing as contributing to your weight gain, especially if you're hyper-focused on food and exercise. So here are another couple of extra sneaky factors that you may not be thinking of. But blood sugar dips from skipping meals, that's a big one. Chronic low level of inflammation from too much processed food. Lack of daylight sunlight, lack of daylight exposure, especially in winter. Shallow breathing even, and poor posture. I think this is a good segment for me to unpack in future. But yes, it can affect our energy and our nervous system and the way that we store body fat. So what do you need to do with all of this information, all these little different aspects? So my advice would be just to pick one thing that you know that resonated with you that probably needs a change. Maybe it's the water, maybe it's the sleep, maybe it's paying attention to your gut health. So don't try and change everything at once because we don't want to add to our stress. But your body can respond best to small, consistent actions that are sending the signal that I'm safe, I'm being cared for, and I can let go of the stress. Because when you start to look after yourself, you will find that the weight can drop off a lot easier than when we're not attending to some things. Thanks for joining me on this segment from Wellbeing Wednesdays, as heard live on 88.6 Plenty Valley FM. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with someone who might find it helpful and subscribe so you never miss a show. Want to catch the live broadcast? Well, you can tune in Wednesdays from 12 till 2 p.m. on 88.6 Plenty Valley FM, or find my info on Wellbeing Wednesdays with Snez, the Facebook group. Take care, stay healthy, and remember, it's the little choices every day that create big changes. Talk soon.